Welcome to Offbeat, the light side of law enforcement. It's part of the Treehouse Podcast Network. On today's show, we're going to talk about pranks. We're going to talk about flights. Man, we've got a lot of good stuff, and we're also going to talk about policing down under.
So, I'm not saying nothing.
So sit back, relax, and get ready to laugh. I'm your host, Steve Rutherford. Co-host for today's show, Joann Jackson.
Hey, y'all.
And we've got two guests joining us in studio. Our two guests, all the way from down under. I couldn't really do that well.
No.
Oh, it's going to be a rough day today. We've got two guests joining us in studio. We've got Sergeant Tamara Weir.
Hey.
I got it right.
Yes, you did.
And we've also got Detective Alex Burdett.
Hi.
So welcome, ladies. And again, we've already led into this. Welcome, ladies, from down under.
Thank you. Good to be here.
And you both work for New South Wales
Police
Force in Australia.
Yes.
Outstanding. And Tamara. Okay, Tamara, you are a sergeant, correct?
That's correct. Yes.
How long have you worked there?
21 years.
Okay. Any special assignments or?
So I've done probably half my career in general duties or patrol, and I've spent probably about 5 years in counterterrorism intelligence and another 5 years in criminal investigations.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Counterintelligence stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and this is all part of your law enforcement what? Career?
Yes. He wants you to say the word. Oh. Right. Okay. Career? Yes.
Career.
Like I asked you to say squirrel earlier.
Squirrel.
Squirrel.
Squirrel. Say squirrel.
Squirrel.
Squirrel. Sounded
Squirrel.
normal, Joe.
No, she has a little rural in the end.
Okay. Alex, how long have you been in law enforcement?
10 years.
10 years. All the same, all there, the New South Wales?
All of New South Wales, yes.
Okay. And any special assignments while you're there?
Started off in general duties like everyone else. Went up to the detective's office. Now sort of done a lot of drug work, that sort of thing. And yeah, I'm in more of a specialist unit that covers the whole state.
Okay. So, and again, to Tamara, this is gonna be the death of me today.
Just refer to me as a Sheila. It's fine.
Sheila.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that your new name?
But
Yeah.
you've also known Tamara for what, 5 years now?
Quite some time. More than that.
We were discussing
than
that, trying to figure out, because I met her in 17, and I think you and Karen met her after.
Well, we met in DC, Washington, DC during National Police Week.
Mhm.
And then after COVID, you were held against your will in your country for a couple of months, correct? Or a couple of years.
Couple of
right?
years. Yeah.
Yeah, and you weren't able to make it back to Police Week for a couple of years. But yes, we did meet in Police Week. Been friends ever since. You were actually on episode number 4 of the show.
Correct. Yes.
And
Almost a year to the day.
we interviewed you. You were lounging in a hotel room bed in Hawaii on your way back from Police
I was.
Week.
Yes. So it's nice to actually be in studio this time.
Yeah, it's cool having you here. Welcome to Texas.
Texas is fun.
Now, how long was your flight to get here?
Long.
Long.
About 15 hours.
15 hours.
Yeah. Direct.
So
Nonstop.
when did you leave Australia?
It's like 10:30 on the 4th.
And when did you get to Texas?
10:30 on the 4th.
Time travel.
Anything? Well, Alex, you mentioned something earlier about your flight.
Yeah.
Alex, anything exciting and or eventful? I think eventful is probably our better word to use here.
Shocking.
Shocking. Anything shocking happened on your flight?
I did have a bit of a jump scare on the flight. So for a bit of context, on the drive to the airport, we drove past a billboard for the White Lotus TV show. And I saw that it was set in Hawaii and it was available on the plane, and we're going to Hawaii later. So I was like, okay, I'll just click on this. And the first episode, it's not really a spoiler. There's a character who's introduced as being very concerned that he might have testicular cancer. And the introductory shot to this character is a close-up, full-screen image of his testicles. So I'm just sitting there, maybe like a foot away from the screen.
Looking at some guy checking out his testicles.
I'm like, oh God, who can see my screen? Is anyone looking at my screen? Are there kids nearby? Like,
Now, do you guys have the screen on the back of the seat, or are you using a phone? I have to use
back
my
of
phone.
the seat.
Oh
in
my,
the front.
oh my
Yeah.
gosh, that's funny.
She had all the children sitting in the row behind her.
I don't know what this is.
I had to cover the screen. I'm like, child, what are you looking at?
It's not what it looks like.
What kind of show is this?
I didn't really look into too much what it was. I just looked playing.
Tamara's like, I don't know what you're into.
I don't know
This
this
is-
person.
It's weird stuff.
We don't judge.
We
She had to know me because I was getting all the snacks for her.
Well, and seeing something on your screen, wondering if anyone else is looking at it. If you haven't checked out episode 52 yet, you need to check it out. We've got a very similar story of an officer looking at something questionable.
But he didn't know.
He didn't, but hell, made for a great story.
Yeah, it did.
So again, welcome, guys. I'm glad you're here tomorrow. It's cool that you actually made it in studio.
No.
And again, it is Police Week, and where we all go up to DC. Yes, while it's a time we get to hang out, it's also a time we remember those officers here in the United States that made the ultimate sacrifice in the past year, and even historically ones that they've done the research on and added to our National Law Enforcement Memorial. So thank you too for traveling from Australia here for our National Police Week in DC. It's a great time, and any of our listeners out there, if you've never attended National Police Week, you need to. You ought to sometime during your career. It's completely different up there.
Yeah, and you need to go and attend the multiple events. There's many different events you can attend. The bagpipes, just the Capitol lawn. There's so many things you can go and see. And I recommend that if you're going to go, you go and you do that, because that's what Police Week is about. The other stuff is
Secondary.
But you need to check those things out. They're pretty amazing that they can put on an event this big.
Well, this will be my 11th year at Police Week.
Is it?
So if that doesn't say
Yeah.
that it's worth a visit, it's worth a 15. Well, it's probably nearly a 24-hour flight from Sydney
Yeah.
to go, then it's definitely worth going.
Yeah. And you attend everything.
Yes.
You wear a dress uniform and you
Yes.
go and you attend everything. So that speaks volumes of what this event is about.
Yeah. So definitely, guys, if you've never attended National Police Week in Washington, D.C., definitely sometime during your career, you need to experience that. But let's talk about this. You come all the way from Australia to National Police Week each year, and we have so many questions in regards to being an officer in Australia.
Mm-hmm.
You did tell us on episode 4 that all of Australia is divided into, is it 5 or 6 states?
So we've got 7 states and territories.
Well, I kind of got close on that
Well,
one.
I think it's like 6 states and 1 territory or something, right?
5 states.
5
and
states, 2
two
territories.
Yeah.
And then you got a federal system, right? That
Yes.
covers everything.
Yeah.
And how many coworkers do you guys have for New South Wales?
We're currently sitting around 20,000.
So 20,000 coworkers
Yes.
just for your state.
Yes.
No, you don't want to put out a message. Call me. a
For somebody
a
else.
citywide message.
Yeah, referring back to episode 52 again. If you haven't heard it, check it out. It's hilarious.
So I have a question for you about area. So if you were to take your state and compare it to the United States, how much of the United States would it take up?
I think land size is roughly about the same size as Texas.
Dang.
And that's one of the smaller states in the country.
Okay. Okay.
Land size.
Land size.
Yeah.
And you do have ocean.
Yes. We're an island.
2 sides. Well, 2
All-
sides.
Yeah.
You're not
All
like
of
a
it.
peninsula.
All of it.
You're not a peninsula. Well, you could be in the center, like Nebraska or Ohio or.
Yes. On the east coast of New South Wales is all coastline.
There's places in Australia that don't have the ocean,
There are.
And that's really sad.
geographically speaking.
Okay. Yeah, Tamara.
Smart asses.
We're on an island.
So's the United States.
Yeah. Whole damn continent. Yeah. Oh,
Y'all are
oh.
a mess.
And I mean, policing in Australia is a little bit different because when it comes to like your firearms and stuff like that, you guys leave them at work, right?
Most of us do.
Most of us.
And Alex, you're a detective, so you are on call at points, in which time you are armed when you're on call, correct?
Correct. So we can respond immediately if we get called in.
Yeah, that is so much different than here in the States. But now, what is your gun crime like? I mean, do you guys have a lot of murders related to weapons or firearms in particular?
I feel you're more likely to be murdered by a knife than probably firearms
Ouch.
in Australia. There are obviously certain elements of the community that tend to favour firearms over others, but
We do have spates of them when certain groups come into conflict with each other.
Like rival gangs?
You guys have gangs?
yeah, organised crime.
I feel
Okay,
like you guys
organized
are
crime.
holding back on us here.
Yeah, it's just I think they don't want us to know the truth.
It's a really great country. Come visit us.
Yeah, you tried to recruit me there a couple of years ago, and I was like, don't y'all have like great white sharks, the wild dogs, and the dingoes, and
Dingoes. Yeah.
venomous snakes and poisonous spiders?
Big
and
spider.
all
She's
that?
in the city though. Remember?
They still have spiders in the city.
Oh,
Yeah, but
they
not
do.
the big ones.
I
Not the big ones that you're scared of.
Or was it a bathroom frog?
Yeah, and the kitchen spider.
Kitchen spider. Yep.
Bathroom
That's
frog.
right. That's right. Going back to episode 4, you had a kitchen spider.
Yeah.
How is your kitchen spider doing?
Well, I've since moved, so I no longer have the kitchen.
You didn't
spider.
take him with you?
I didn't know.
So
Wow.
the new
It's well
tenants.
established.
Spider neglect.
Spider abandonment.
Yeah, spider abandonment. Okay, we're going to try not to hold that against you.
Yeah. I currently have a garden one. Does that count?
Oh, that counts.
Garden
Okay.
spider. Big, huge spider, fangs, all this kind of
No, it's
stuff,
only-
like 6 foot in diameter.
It's only like it's only a little one, little white tail.
That you just feed him? Does he come out?
No,
and
I don't feed him. I just leave him do his own thing. He eats
Might
the
have been-
bugs.
Might have been the one that came from my garden because the one in my garden had babies.
See, they're raising spiders.
They're raising spiders over there.
Oh, my spider had a litter of.
Would you like some? I'm up for adoption.
Free baby garden spiders.
Rehoming.
Mhm.
Like I don't do that much gardening, so they tend to just. I look out one day. Oh, there's a spider. I look out like a week later. Why are there 10 spiders?
You're not selling it to them.
Y'all didn't bring any spiders with you today, did you?
No.
Okay.
Not allowed to do that.
Now,
Frowned upon.
I understand. Alex, you see a lot of pranks at work.
A few. A few.
You've seen a few, and you had one in particular you were talking about in regards to changing someone's autocorrect and warrants.
Oh, so this is when I worked with Tamara. We were working in the same office, and we had a guy in the office who was a bit of a prankster. And one day someone left their computer unlocked, and he went in and changed the autocorrect function on Microsoft Word so that every time the word police was typed, it would automatically change to penis. So, unbeknownst to the officer whose actual computer it was, he was on night shift one night and had to apply for a search warrant with some degree of urgency. And just as he's about to send it off to the court to get,
Get
send it off
signed
to the
off
court to
on.
get signed off on, he realizes every time he's typed police, it now reads penis. So,
Thank God he caught that.
well, we walked in just as he'd realized it. He was just like a bit of a like, oh God, what have I nearly done?
Be like, what's on your mind, dude? I mean,
Like,
Is this something we need to know about?
Freud would have a field day with you.
We don't judge here.
So no judgment zone.
we accept people how they are. Yes, no judgment. And he had to get the warrant signed off on. So you guys, is it a magistrate that you guys have to have sign the warrants, or that's what we have here in Texas?
We have registrars, which are sort of, how do you explain what they are?
Are they like a judge?
It's slightly less than a magistrate, but they've still got the power to. They basically work in chambers. They don't actually appear in court, but they've got the similar powers to what a magistrate does to sign off on warrants.
Can
So
they-
like a JP?
Higher than a
High-
JP.
Someone that could say, officer, arrest that man. if we were in their presence?
None of our
No,
magistrates.
we don't have to get
Really?
approval from the courts to go and arrest someone. If we believe we have the grounds to arrest them, then we just do it.
Okay. If you got, I mean, is it probable cause for you guys? We use probable cause system in the U.S. So if you have probable cause to believe an offense has been committed,
Reasonable suspicion,
Yeah.
we call it.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Reasonable
suspicious.
suspicion.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
See, we got probable cause. Reasonable suspicion for us is down.
Well, I think
Beneath
we've
that.
got
Clauses
reasonable suspicion and
and then
reasonable
belief.
belief.
Yeah.
Sorry, so it's belief.
You did
Belief
it.
for
You're going
warrants,
to jail.
but
Well, see, and our magistrates, our judges, they can actually, I mean, sure, they sign off on warrants, search warrants, arrest warrants, stuff like that. I mean, there's many circumstances you can arrest someone without a warrant, but they also have the power in their courtroom to order the arrest of somebody. Just, hey, officer, arrest him.
Yeah.
So
Stop
they can-
acting up or you're going to give you 20 days and they'll just be like,
Yeah, place him
take
under
him into
arrest.
custody.
I've never seen
So-
that.
Yeah. So if you go to a U.S. court, don't act like a fool because,
You know what? Just don't get into trouble. While
yeah.
you're in jail. Sure.
Well, maybe they're going to go and watch a case because, Diddy's trial started today, apparently. Sean Puffy Combs, he had rejected a plea deal. So, yeah.
Oh, I did not know that.
Mhm.
Probably because I've been in a coma since I got
Understandable. I mean, a whole day.
Now, you guys have, like you said, Alex, a moment ago, you guys have worked together
Mhm.
and you guys have investigated crimes together, interviewed suspects together. You mentioned a story to me earlier, and I want you to share this one. Tell me about the time you guys did a joint interview on a suspect.
Okay. So I had an investigation from an incident that happened quite a long time prior, and we were interviewing this guy in relation to it. And during this interview, he's answering quite detailed questions about things he remembered around that period of time. But whenever he was asked about the offense, he suddenly couldn't remember. And
Convenient.
yeah, of course, right?
But also for context, this
yes.
suspect was quite elderly. He was in his 80s and was quite hard of hearing.
Allegedly.
No, I believe he was. And at the time as well, there was some bushfires going on. So there were helicopters overhead and the room was very, very echoey. So every time we'd ask him a question, we would have to yell it at him. And then he would yell it back to confirm that he understood the question before answering the question.
Are you guys outside?
No, inside. It was just a very echoey interview room. And
Okay.
a lot of stuff was going
Okay.
on outside too, which didn't really help him trying to.
The bushfires.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then Tamara comes out with this absolute gem, which was
I asked this gentleman if he remembered having sex with his wife, and
Fair question.
he just kept yelling "what" back at me. So I had to yell at him, "Do you remember having sex with your wife?" Which say Alex pulled back from the screen that records our interviews and
just
burst out laughing. So I had to try and remain professional while continuing on with
and
this
I'm just
interview.
shaking and hoping I'm outside of the booth.
But he yelled it back at you.
He did yell
Yep.
it back at me. Yes,
That's funny.
How long does
Did
this
he-
go on? Just
a couple of minutes.
a
Back and
couple of
forth.
minutes. If you ask him if he
Yep.
remembered having sex
Yep.
with his wife, and him repeating that to you,
Yeah. And variations of that sort of question.
did he remember?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, he did.
Surprise, surprise.
I might be 80 years old, but I remember having sex with my wife.
You're listening to Offbeat, the light side of law enforcement. Visit us online at offbeatcopshow.com.
Let's welcome Daniel Cook from Cook DFW Roofing and Restoration into the studio. Their number's 833 Cook DFW. The website, cookdfw.com. How are you doing, Daniel?
Doing fantastic, Steve. I'm just hectic and busy, but we are loving it.
Now, today I wanted to bring up home insurance. We have talked about this topic before, but I believe it's extremely important information for homeowners. What advice would you give someone in regards to home insurance?
Unfortunately, home insurance is necessary for all of us. And I think a lot of times people shop by price rather than what coverage is. And that can get you in some bad situations if you unfortunately have to use your home insurance. All insurances are changing. The level of deductibles are changing. The amount of coverage is changing. The type of coverage you have is changing. There's replacement cost. There's actual cash value. There's a roof payment schedule. There are deductibles that are all the way up to 3 and 4% out there. There's cosmetic exclusions. There's marring coverage. There's so many things in a policy that you need to be educated about and what your coverage limitations are. I highly suggest find an insurance agent that you trust that will explain these items to you. You need to find hopefully somebody local. I know a lot of people use online insurance companies, third parties, because they're looking for price, but try to find somebody local that you can call. So if you have questions, you can get a hold of somebody and not a 1-800 number of somebody on the other side that really doesn't understand your policy. They're not going to know what to ask or figure out, and you're going to get stuck with a policy that's inferior.
Well, and you mentioned a deductible. That's kind of a shocker. You said sometimes 3 and 4%. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, we had a client just the other day. They had a $16,000 deductible.
Wow. It's a lot of money to have laying around just in case your roof gets torn up by a storm. And so very, very important whenever your policy comes up for renewal, make sure that you read through everything. Now, if you're in need of a new roof repair, remodeling, or restoration, give Daniel a call at Cook DFW Roofing and Restoration. The number's 833-COOK-DFW. Again, that's 833-COOK-DFW. The website, cookdfw.com. Be sure to ask them about their free first responder upgrade.
Hi, this is Joann Jackson. My husband, Dallas Police Officer Brian Jackson, gave his life serving the city of Dallas in 2005. The RMS Treehouse Listeners Foundation supports the families of Dallas and Fort Worth area police officers and firefighters who have selflessly fallen in the line of duty. To donate, please visit offbeatcopshow.com or treehouseonair.com and click on the link.
And we're back to more Offbeat, the light side of law enforcement. I'm your host, Steve Rutherford, co-host for today's show, Joann Jackson.
Hey, y'all.
And we're joined with two guests in studio today. We've got Sergeant Tamara Weir.
Hey.
I said it right again, didn't
You did. That's 2 for 2.
I? And we've got Detective Alex Burdett.
Hi.
Hi, Alex.
You're all right down there? Okay.
Are you still awake?
I'm struggling.
Oh,
Because it's actually tomorrow for them.
No, tomorrow.
Tomorrow, not tomorrow.
Oh, Lord. All right. This segment of Offbeat is sponsored by our good friends at Alexander Financial Management. If you have questions about retirement planning, investment strategies, life insurance, or estate planning, check out Alexander Financial Management at alexfm.com. All right. We got your name right. And then Joann tries to throw me off by saying tomorrow. And
It's really today.
It's really today.
wait a minute.
What?
Tomorrow's today?
Yeah. And today is tomorrow. For them.
For them.
For them.
But for me, today is today.
Right.
And tomorrow is tomorrow.
Today's the 6th, but it's actually the 5th.
And tomorrow is tomorrow.
Right.
Tomorrow. Damn it. So close. Oh, all right. And yes, our two guests are here from Australia today. And thank you guys for being here. It's awesome having you in studio with us. And on the break, we discussed a few stories. And Tamara, I understand that you've ridden in a vehicle with Alex before, and that Alex is almost a professional driver.
Yes.
Well, why don't you elaborate? Tell us about her driving abilities.
So I didn't know this at the time. It's probably fairly early on when we started working together, and I unfortunately let her drive.
Unfortunately.
I'm no longer allowed to drive.
We had to go out and serve a brief of evidence on an offender in a
And I'm sorry, you had to serve a what?
a brief of evidence, or like
What is a brief of
Document
it?
a file that contains all the evidence you have against them.
Against them, you have to
Yeah.
show it to them.
Yep.
Yeah.
You don't
So
have
we
to
have
wait
to
for
serve-
court.
Well, so they have to be served a minimum 2 weeks before a hearing date. So they've got time to review all the evidence before them and then
Hey, ice
lodge a
cream.
defense. Yeah.
Ice cream.
Sorry.
All
I was meant for Alex.
Oh. All right. For the rest of the world, ice cream means get closer to your microphone. It's more appropriate than other things. Okay.
So anyway,
So you have to show them,
everything that we've got. So all the evidence that we have in a
And-
matter against them.
and you're not showing it to their attorney. You're showing it to the suspect.
Well, so I think in this
He
case
didn't have an
he was unrepresented. So he was self-represented. So we had to serve it on him rather than a legal representative.
Oh, that's crazy. Okay.
And so this offender lived in a
The world's narrowest cul-de-sac.
in an area with very narrow streets, and there were vehicles parked on both sides of the street, so it was really only one lane. So Alex manages to park the car relatively
It
without
was
issue.
parked.
This part is just fine.
We went across the road and we did what we had to do and serve the brief on the bad guy. He continued to remain standing out the front of his house as he watched us walk back to our vehicle.
Just giving you the eyeball.
Yeah. And then, I assumed Alex would just pull out into the laneway and then reverse back up the street because I feel like that's what all normal people would do. It's what I would do. But instead, she proceeded to do an Austin Powers style 1,000-point turn in this teeny tiny little street with our offender standing right nearby watching it. I have never slunk down in a chair so much to try and avoid being seen. Needless to say, Alex hasn't driven since.
Yeah. No red on red.
No.
No left on red.
No left on red.
No red on red unless there's a sign.
Is that a true story, Alex?
Yes. But now I don't have to drive. So
So it worked.
my
It was
plan all
strategic.
along.
Yeah.
Extra strategic because she's not driving over here either.
Everything is on the wrong side.
Hey, I stopped the lady. I think she was from France once. And I was actually driving down the road and the lady's coming straight at me. I'm like, whoa. And anyways, so I turn around behind her. She makes it through an intersection, driving on the wrong side of the intersection too, makes a right-hand turn. Horrible. Finally get her stopped and get up there. And yeah, she's speaking a different language. And I was like, gotcha. I was like, oh my God, it's 2:00 in the afternoon. This lady's already impaired. Crap. No, she wasn't from around here. Got off
She's
the plane at DFW, went to the rental car place and jumped on the wrong side of the road.
Oops. Making left ons red.
We've had a couple moments where we were going to turn left and we're like, wait, which one do we need? That one. That's the one we need to be in.
Wait, let me see if somebody else is turning so I know where I need to go.
Exactly. Exactly.
Very
We're
grateful.
going to slow down so someone passes us and we can follow them.
Very grateful for the people going in the same direction.
If you do see one car going the wrong way, don't follow that guy.
Don't follow.
Yeah. Stay
Well, I
with
don't know which way's the wrong way.
stay with the majority.
Back
Oh, Lord.
traffic.
And y'all have a rental car, right?
Yes,
Oh, that's scary.
it is.
Is Alex driving or is it you?
No, it's definitely not Alex.
She's doing great.
I drove us here.
We've only nearly died twice with Tamara.
None with
One
me.
of them was not my fault.
It was also about 500 meters out of the airport.
So-
I think it was another tourist driving that punched through a red light and was turning right in front of us as we were driving
That-
through a green light.
That'd be so sad if you guys land at the airport.
Yeah.
You only make it less than
500.
yeah, less than a mile outside the gates, and yeah.
Passenger gave us this awkward little wave, like,
Sorry.
oops.
Mhm.
Now, Alex, you mentioned several pranks that you've seen at work, and one of them involved emails.
The emails. So this is
Aha, the email.
yes.
I'm going to have
Um,
to try this.
So this is going quite a ways back. And again, was due to somebody leaving their computer unlocked.
See, okay, let's public service announcement. Don't
Lock your computer.
Yeah, lock your computer, lock
Lock your
your cell
phone.
phones. lock your car,
Cops
Don't-
can't be trusted.
hide the
Yeah.
women, hide the children,
Lock,
all that.
lock any vehicle.
Okay. And
So anyway, this girl walked away, went to the bathroom or something, and in the meantime, someone's gone on her emails and has changed her email signature. And I don't know about you, but no one really reads email signatures, right? They're kind of just a block at the bottom, and you don't really think too hard about it. And she sent emails to the bosses, she sent emails to coworkers, she sent emails to absolutely everyone, including to the local hospital to get some medical records. And that's when she gets an email back from one of the staff saying, "Hey, I think someone's playing a prank on you. Check your email signature." And it says her name, her rank, I like feet, and then the station she worked at. So it's easy to overlook.
everybody's got
Yeah.
their
It's a judgment-free zone.
Judgment free.
judgment free.
Then she's like scrolling through her emails, being like, "Oh God, how long has this been here? How many bosses have I emailed? Have any of them noticed?"
I like feet. Any of the bosses walking around with no shoes on or anything? She likes feet.
So I think we need to go to IAD and have a conversation.
Yeah, feet. I don't get it, but yes, check your email. That's another good warning. Check your email. Make sure nobody's tampered with it, and then by all means, lock your computer. Yeah, there's nothing better in law enforcement than to find a coworker's computer that is not locked, because we refer to that as fair game.
Yep, cell phones too.
Now, you guys have also had pranks in regards to phones, right? The phone system.
Oh yes. So there was one girl who was, I think she was away for a bit, and when she came back, someone had changed every single phone in the office to reroute to her phone.
That sucks.
So she was essentially the office receptionist for the whole day and couldn't figure out why.
Everybody else is playing games on their
Yeah.
phones and stuff.
And this office is like long and thin, and essentially if you wanted to talk to someone from one end and you're on the other, then you'd pick up the phone rather than walk down. So she's gotten her steps up that day. Just doing laps.
And
Delivering
ev-
telephone
funny.
messages.
everybody's just watching her.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow, look, she's busy today.
Yeah.
I was thinking, why isn't anyone else's phone ringing?
Yeah.
That's just good, clean fun.
No one's getting hurt.
And as I understand, I don't know which one of you wants to tell this story, but you've arrested a suspect in a hospital before.
So when we were working together in our detective office, we had a very old school detective sergeant that probably hit his prime back in the 80s and never really progressed past that point.
Thinks it's
Living
the
out of the
80s.
80s.
Yeah.
That's
So in this particular matter, the news and our media unit were working together to publicize an arrest for a murder suspect that was in the hospital. And this detective sergeant decided, even though he had no part in the investigation whatsoever, he wanted to be one of the faces as the person going in,
Ah, yeah.
to be known for this arrest.
We all know that guy.
Some things don't change between continents.
Yes.
Nope.
And so he, along with two of our detectives from the office who actually did the work, were filmed walking towards the hospital.
So you got like media outlet out
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Everybody knows what's going down.
Yes. And
Okay. Big
on,
production.
on this particular day, he decided that he wasn't going to wear his suit jacket. He wasn't going to put his firearm on. And he actually walked into the hospital wearing AirPods. So it really looked like these two young detectives were taking dad out for the day rather than a high profile arrest.
Yeah, we're checking our dad in the hospital.
Yeah. He was released on day release. We're just returning him.
Yeah, we thought we could take care of him. We can't.
Yeah.
Bring him home.
Yeah.
Yes, we've all come across that officer.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's a little bit different here because nobody wants to get caught on anybody else's body cam here, because
Mm.
if you're caught on the body cam here, type up testimony, and now you're going to get subpoenaed to court because now you've become a part of it. Around here, everybody just scatters. I didn't see nothing. Now, any crazy tourist stories? Tamara, you've mentioned one in episode 4. You talked about a crazy tourist that you had to remind her that she was no longer in her country
Yes, I did.
because she was kind of acting a fool, if you will.
Yes.
But added any to the collection of crazy tourist stories since we last spoke?
Not for me, but I think Alex might have a story.
Oh, I don't know about crazy. It was just a bit of a misunderstanding. So we get a call for a suspected domestic violence incident. Someone's heard some yelling, some slapping, some noises that makes them go, oh, I should probably call the cops.
Some kind of disturbance going on. Yeah.
So we go there, and it was actually just a couple of tourists. And it was their last night in Sydney. And they just had decided to celebrate by having very, very loud sex.
They were still sightseeing.
Yeah.
Going out with a bang.
Yeah. It's like, okay,
Ba-dum-dum.
nothing to see here. You guys are fine.
Yeah, I always wondered what happened. What
Yeah.
goes on in Sydney, and it's
It
No,
usually stays there, but not on this occasion.
sometimes it gets brought over. Yeah, and you guys are ahead of us, and
Yeah,
well,
we're from the future.
Did you bring the winning lotto numbers with you?
I did not.
Yeah, you always wish everybody a happy new year. Like I'm like, is she drunk? She's on the wrong day, or yeah,
It's 14 hours early.
She's
14
posting
hours.
fireworks and stuff going on over there.
Well, and we'd actually talked once last year. You and I were sending messages back and forth, trying to figure out what time it was, and we finally got to the point. I sent her a message like, "Just tell me what time it is where you're at." It's like it's 1 o'clock. What time is it there? Oh, it's this. So we could actually.
It's 1 o'clock tomorrow.
See, I just message her whenever and she always replies. So I just assume that she doesn't sleep.
She doesn't.
Well, I'm a
And-
shift worker.
And she just, she's always up, and I usually get a reply within a short period of time.
Probably catching me on a night shift.
It's been a long night shift when I've sent you a lot of memes. You wake up and you're like, scroll through 14 videos.
No, how long a shift do you guys work?
I work 12s.
I do 9s.
9.
9. That's an odd number.
Yeah, it's unusual even for us. Most detectives are on 10s.
So
How did you get?
does that mean
don't
you have
know.
to work like a half a day?
So
to
it's a
get-
9-day fortnight. So it'll be, for example, Monday to Friday and then Monday to Thursday the next week.
Okay, so during the pay period, you just get your total hours in.
Yeah,
So
it balances across a 6-week roster.
Yeah, I was
So
gonna
stupid question, 40 hours a week, right?
I think it roughly works
38.
out. Yeah, 38 hours a week. So we do 228 hours in a 6-week period. So that can be a blend of different shifts, shift lengths, and that sort of thing. So the shift times can vary, the amount of days that you work can vary, but
They don't make you go back and forth between day and night, though.
I do. Yes, all the time.
Yep.
Coming off a night shift, half day turnaround, and back at work again.
So it's not like here where you're assigned to a certain shift.
It depends. So patrol's probably a little bit more structured than what Alex
Yeah.
is in. She's in a specialist squad, so
Mhm.
it's what the job requires as to when she's called out. But I've got a more set roster than what she does.
Quite frustratingly, bad guys don't keep set rosters.
I know, right?
But
Really
you,
rude of them.
but you guys are basing how many hours you get in a 6-week period?
Yeah.
Please tell me you don't get paid every 6 weeks.
No, we get paid fortnightly.
Okay.
You get
But
paid
just-
what? I'm trying to figure out what this word is. They're saying
Fortnightly. I think, didn't we discuss this
We
last
did.
time?
fortnightly.
Every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks.
That's what that means. Every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fortnight is 2 weeks.
Okay.
It's not just a game.
It's a movie. It is a movie.
It's a movie, is
It's
it?
a movie. Yeah, it's got Jack Black and it's got Aquaman. I can't think of his name.
Jason Momoa?
Jason Momoa.
As long as it doesn't have some guy checking his testicles.
Yeah. I don't think so. It's a kids movie. Hopefully.
Oh, now, Alex, you mentioned that sometimes the kids, the younger generation, the teens, the kids in their 20s, sometimes they're, oh God, how do we even get here? Sometimes they use their vehicles to engage in certain conduct.
A lookout point. is
A
what
lot
you're
of them
trying to
live with
say.
their parents and don't really have anywhere else.
Okay, well, any stories going down that
So-
road? No pun intended.
So in an area that I used to work, there was a spot that was quite notorious for couples to get quite amorous in cars. And one night we're just driving along, we do a lap, we see a car, the windows are all steamed up. We kind of tap, 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 come on, guys. And the guy I was working with had a quite jovial temperament. Like he's very, very boisterous, very sort of friendly. And as you know, these flustered 18 to 21-year-olds are sort of trying to frantically scramble to get their clothes together. He's going like, "All right, guys, what are we doing here tonight?" As if he has no idea. And this poor guy is just like, no, speak up. What were you doing? We were being intimate. Being intimate, were we? Well, we can't be doing that here. And this area is also a popular fishing spot. So there's all these fishermen just turning around and going, "What is going on here?" And these little sweaty teenagers trying to like frantically throw themselves together and trying to scramble out of there. And we're just like, all right, well, we drove off. And about an hour or two later, we do another lap down that area. It's actually quite a nice spot to look out over the water. And we see the car still there and with the hood popped. So what's happened is while they've been in the car, the battery's gone flat and they've had to call one of their parents to drive down, jumpstart their car.
Mom, Dad, we were here to fish.
At 3:00 in the morning.
This is not what it looks like. We're just friends.
Just a couple of besties.
Planning for the future is challenging, and getting where you want to go in life requires strategies built around your unique financial needs. Alexander Financial Management is here to help you reach your goals. As fiduciaries, Alexander Financial Management will pursue the best solutions for you, no exception. While their decades of experience and service are available to everyone, Alexander Financial especially wants to help first responders and their families. The founder is a former police officer, and the executive team includes a retired fire captain and a retired police officer. Their extensive background in public service gives a deep understanding of the public retirement systems of Texas. So for retirement planning, investment strategies, life insurance, and estate planning, Alexander Financial Management has your back, so you can look forward. Get more info at alexfm.com. That's alexfm.com. Investment advisory services offered through Transcend LLC, a registered investment advisor. TE3 and Alexander Financial are not affiliated entities. Insurance products and services are not offered through TE3, but are offered and sold through individually licensed and appointed agents.
And we're back to more Offbeat, the light side of law enforcement. We're joined with two guests in studio today. We've got Sergeant Tamara Weir.
Howdy. Is that a question?
That was like, did I say your name right?
Yeah, you did.
I'm doing great. And we've also got Detective Alex Burdett.
You said that right.
Alex, thanks for having a normal name. Much easier to say. Guys, I do want to mention, if you've not been to the website, check it out. It's offbeatcopshow.com. Again, offbeatcopshow.com. There on the website, you can listen to all episodes, as well as click on the link for the RMS Treehouse Listeners Foundation. It's there at the top of the website. The foundation established many years ago to assist the families of fallen police officers and firefighters who have fallen in the line of duty here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Covers 10 counties. The foundation provides monetary assistance to those family members immediately after such tragedy. So I would invite you to make a donation there. Again, the RMS Treehouse Listeners Foundation. Also on the website, there's an icon for a microphone. If you click on that icon, you can actually leave us a voicemail message.
That's new.
It is new. And if you've got a story that you would like to share with us and have us share your story on the show, then click on that icon, leave your name, leave the agency you're with, and share your story. It'd be fun to share it on the show. Check us out on social media. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram. YouTube as well. And wherever you're at.
Your podcast.
Yeah. Share, like, follow, subscribe. Anything else? I think we got it all.
I think we got it all.
I'm excited about this next topic here.
Oh, me too. I had no idea. Like population or visits are going to go up to Australia.
Yes, we're now working for the Australian Tourist District. We learned that brothels are actually legal in Australia.
Yes, they are.
How did I never not know that?
You obviously haven't come visit, have you?
I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
Oh.
Someday I'm just going to show up and be like banging on a door. Hey, do you know so-and-so? Some police station.
Go to a brothel, you'd be banging on.
I am banging on a
That's where I
brothel
thought that
door.
was going.
So,
Some police station. Now
Tamara
you
was
wanna come
already
to
there. I
Australia.
was just the one that said it. Well, and I can only imagine that those establishments can bring forth some interesting calls.
Few.
I see Alex on the end smiling. Alex, what's your best call at a brothel?
So we don't get a huge number of calls at brothels, but there was one particular madame that was we were investigating for dealing drugs, and we wound up ultimately doing a search warrant on the apartment she was using as a brothel. The 3 girls that were working there, as our specialist tactical resources have gone in, there's one of the girls that's run towards the bathroom. We've been like, all right, what's in the bathroom? Like, what are we dealing with?
Yeah.
Anyway, it turns out she'd actually herself.
Um,
That was why she wanted to go to the bathroom.
that's a good reason to go to the bathroom.
You scared her so much she pooped herself.
Yeah.
Literally scared it out of her.
Scared it out of her.
Scare the crap out of her.
And the second girl, and I'll just add here that I'm unfortunate enough to be the only female at this warrant. So I'm with the task of searching everyone.
Mhm.
They've asked me to strip search this second girl. The second girl was naked when they came in. She was actively with a client at the time they came in. I was like, where do you want me to search?
Wait, whoa. She was actively with a client whenever you guys came in,
When-
but she's no longer actively with a client.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
They were, excuse me, can you-
They were
separated.
doing they were doing a transaction upon initial contact.
Decoupled. Is
Yeah.
that the word?
They separated. Okay. They're separated.
The connection was severed.
You didn't, and you got to do a strip search on her. You didn't just like look at that
I-
guy and say, hey, does she have anything on her?
I think he searched her pretty thoroughly. Then the third girl also needed to go to the bathroom, so I've escorted her to the bathroom, and she was having the opposite problem as the first girl.
Okay. No.
So she's sitting on the toilet, screaming like, ah, and then plop, like tiny little rabbit pellets. And then she'd repeat this, scream, tiny little rabbit pellet. And like she was screaming so much, I even asked her if she wanted an ambulance. That was just not right. And then as well, like she was not really listening to what I was trying to tell her. None of these girls spoke a single bit of English.
She was trying to concentrate.
She was. But I've got some very, very, very limited Mandarin. So I'm yelling at her in basic Mandarin and she's yelling at me to stop yelling at her in Mandarin. And it was just a bit of a
Comedy of errors.
I'm just like, how did what life decisions did I make to wind up in this situation?
Join the police, they said.
Yes. It'll be fun.
It'll
They
be
said.
fun.
They said you'll meet new interesting people.
So brothels are legal in Australia.
Apparently.
Okay. We learn something new every time. Tomorrow we learned so much the first time you were on about Australia, and I feel like we've just added to our knowledge now.
I agree.
We're here to educate.
Okay. One of these days we're actually going to go the other way and we're going to go visit you.
Nice.
Yes.
So
Now that you know brothels are legal.
Steve,
That-
Steve, wait.
Brothel
That was
has
not my
down under,
motivation.
Come visit.
Oh, no. Steve has 6 chicks in the barn, so
Oh.
oh, don't
Yeah.
let that get out. That does not sound right.
well, you're the one who said you had 6 chicks.
Okay.
Chickens.
Again, it's been a pleasure having you guys.
Thanks for having us.
you.
It's been a pleasure having you on the show. It's been a pleasure having you in our country. So
And we'll see you in Police Week.
We'll see you at Police Week.
absolutely. So, all right, guys. Until next time, keep it real, keep it funny, stay safe, and watch each other 6.